Yes, welcome to physics class students now. So in this session we are going to learn derivation of formula for force F is equals to ma and Newton's second law of motion. So from Newton's second law of motion we are going to derive the formula for force. So first, what is the Newton's second law of motion in the form of statement? In the previous videos we studied about linear momentum, the change in momentum. So using a change in the momentum, we can derive the formula for force from Newton's second law of motion. So Newton's second law of motion explains what happens to the state of a body when force is applied. And also Newton's first law of motion explains when no force is acted on the body, what is the state of a body can be explained in a Newton first law of motion. And what happens to the state of a body when force is acted on it can be explained in Newton's second law of motion. So the statement for Newton's second law of motion is the rate of change of a linear momentum. The rate of change of linear momentum can be written as dp by dt or delta p by delta t is directly proportional to the net force acting on the body. The change of a linear momentum takes place in the direction of applied force. So this is the statement of Newton's second law of motion, students. So the rate of change of linear momentum, which is denoted by dp by dt or delta p by delta t, is directly proportional to the net force capital F acting on the body. So the change of linear momentum produced in the body takes place in the direction of applied force on the body. It means that the rate of change of linear momentum increases with the increase of net force acting on the body. The rate of change of momentum decreases with the decrease of net force acting on the body. So with this statement we can derive the formula for force, which is given as F is equals to ma. Children, now so now derivation of the formula for force. Derivation of formula for force. Derivation of F is equals to ma. So from the statement of Newton's second law of motion, from the statement of Newton's second law of motion, so we can write F is directly proportional to dp by dt. F is directly proportional to dp by dt. That is, rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to net force acting on the body. This is the statement for Newton's second law of motion. We know that linear momentum P is given as mass into velocity. So from that we can write F is directly proportional to d of m into v by dt. This implies, but m, mass of the body remains constant, so it can be written as F is directly proportional to m into dv by dt. So we also know that acceleration is given as dv by dt, or it is also given by the formula v minus u by t, or it is also given by the formula delta v by delta t. Rate of change of velocity can be called acceleration, students. So now we want to substitute this one in this part. So now we can get F is directly proportional to m into a. F is directly proportional to m into a. So as the space is not enough here, so again we are writing by decreasing the size of the letters, students. So wait a minute. So this implies F is directly proportional to d of m into v by dt. But mass is a constant. F is directly proportional to m of dv by dt. So we know that acceleration A is equals to dv by dt or delta v by delta t. So this implies F is directly proportional to dv by dt, means we can write acceleration. So because acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity, which is given by dv by dt or delta v by delta t, or it is also given as v minus u by t. Now eliminate the proportionality symbol and write a constant k m into a. So this implies F is equals to 1 into m into a. So why we are taking F is equals to 1 into m into a? In SI system, k value is taken as a 1 because when F is equals to 1 Newton, so when here you can see when F is equals to 1 Newton, m is equals to 1 kc, and acceleration is equals to 1 meter per second square. So 1 meter per second square. Then k value becomes, so this implies k value becomes 1. So that is why, so k value is taken is a 1. So then formula for force is equals to m into a. So this is the formula for force. F is equals to m into a. So force can be defined from that formula, product of mass and acceleration. Now what are the units of force in CGS and SI system? So from the statement of Newton's second law of motion, so net force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum, that is F directly proportional to dp by dt. We know that momentum P is equals to mass into velocity, then this is substituted in the place of P. So it is written like that, and dv by dt is nothing but acceleration. So then it can be written as F directly proportional to m into a. Proportionality symbol is replaced with a constant k with equal sign, and in SI system k value is taken as a 1. So in the SI system, when F value is a 1 Newton, k value is m value is a 1 kc, then a value is a 1 meter per second square, then k becomes 1. So on substituting k value as a 1, so we get the formula for force. Force is equals to mass into acceleration, students. Now what are the units of force in CCS and SI system? We see now. So this is the derivation of formula for force and statement of Newton's second law of motion. So now units of force, students. units of force. So you know force is given by the formula mass into acceleration, that is product of mass and acceleration. CGS unit of force is dyne, and one dyne from the formula, one dyne is equals to mass is a gram and acceleration is centimeter per second square. One dyne is equals to gram into centimeter per second square. SI unit of force is Newton. So 1 Newton is equals to mass is a kilogram and acceleration is meter per second square. So this is Newton is equals to kilogram meter per second square. So now what is the relation between Newton and dyne? So we know that 1 Newton is equals to kg meter per second square. But kg means 1000 grams and meter per second square is 100 centimeter per second square. So 1000 means you can write 10 cube and 100 means 10 square. 10 cube to 10 square gram centimeter per second square. So this implies 1 Newton is equals to so 1 Newton is equals to so this implies 1 Newton is equals to 10 cube to 10 power 10 cube to 10 square 10 power 5 gram centimeter per second square. But we know that gram centimeter per second square is equals to 1 dyne. So this implies 1 Newton is equals to 10 power 5 dyne. So similarly 1 dyne is equals to 10 power minus 5 Newton. So this is about a units of force in CGS and SI students. So that's all. Newton's second law of motion and derivation of formula for force. So and also relation between Newton and dyne, that is the relation between CGS unit of force and SI unit of force.